Hi guys, PJ here. Today we are fitting a dashboard camera to a MG6. Quite a straightforward job to do, doesn't take very long. I'll try and keep the video as short as possible to not waste any of your time. We're going to be fitting an X-Base 212 to this car and using the wiring kit that they supply as an optional extra. In here you have got a replacement power cable with a plus and a minus on the end of it, and also a little fuse spur there to go into your fuse box. On the MG6, your fuse box is located down here under your glove box. I'm going to go right down here with the camera. There you go, there's your fuses right at the bottom. Now to get to those fuses, you have to remove this plastic panel that I'm showing you here. Very straightforward to do. All you've got to do to get it the right way around, there we go. There is two Phillips screws, one here and one here on the other side. Look, just there, there's two little screw holes, and they are literally a Phillips crosshead screw. So take both those out and pull your panel down, so it sort of goes down and then backwards. Yeah, pull it out the lugs, and then you can get to your entire fuse box. You're also going to have to remove some other bits of trim, such as the side panel where the airbag switch is. Don't unplug the airbag switch, by the way. And you're going to have to pull off your rubber door trim, like so. Take all that off, just all the way up the pillar, so you can get to the top of the pillar and just sort of pop it out a little bit so you can tuck the wire behind it. So we're going to run the wire from the fuse box right now, up here, up the side, up the edge, and pop it out here, and I'll update when I've done that. Okay, so we've got our power cable now tucked round here underneath. We've run it down the edge here, and as you can see it's just popping out there. Look, the next thing to do is remove this side panel. You're going to need something like a plastic scraper. I use something called a Bojo tool. Now these are available from most car accessory shops or on Amazon or eBay, etc. If you use metal, you are going to damage the plastic, so don't be tempted to put a scraper or a screwdriver in there. It will definitely make a mark. Don't do that. All you've got to do is pop your little plastic scraper in. You can just find somewhere that's got a bit of movement. They are quite tight. There we go. And as you can see, look, it pops off. It's on clips, like plastic clips that go all the way around. In fact, this particular car is missing one of them. It's fallen off in the past. So pop it off and remove it, but leave the cabling on for the switch. So leave it just, hanging down. Do not unplug the switch. Like so. Yeah. Like I say, do not unplug this. Use the possibility of having an airbag warning light appear on your dashboard, but you should have to take it to a garage to get it reset. So just leave that plugged in like so. It's not doing any harm. Don't shut your car door on it, because obviously you'll smash it. Right, running your cable, like I was saying, down. Get to this point. Now you can use one of these two bolts as your earthing point, because on the end of the cable that comes with the kit, just quickly show you, we have this spade. Now I normally replace that with a ring terminal connector, but you don't have to. All we're going to do is put that under one of these to earth the item. And there we go. 10mm bolt removed. Put myself the earthing strap underneath it. 10mm bolt back in again. I've actually put a washer each side of it just to stop the thing coming loose, but that's your earth done. You can now go ahead and feed the power cable side of it, this one, which has got a bullet connector on the end, through the big hole here and down to the footwell of the car. So once you've fed your red wire down into the fuse box footwell area of the vehicle, tidy up the rest of your remaining cable. Basically I electrical tape it all together in a nice bunch, and then cable tie it round something so it doesn't fall through into the footwell or clatter on something and make a noise when you're hitting potholes, etc. At this point you can go ahead and reattach your side panel trim. Now you notice the top there's got little hooks, don't snap those off. They sort of pop up and under the trim and push flat. Well, I need both hands to do this, so I'll update you in a sec. There we go, so we've pushed the hooks up and under at the top first. So start at the top, and then you've got the gap at the side. Just make sure your little lugs are all lining up, etc., that you can see there. And then you can go ahead and tap that flush home like so. It doesn't take much, just a bit of a push, and it'll clip in. There we go. Right, moving down to the fuse box now, so we can get our ignition switched live for the power supply. Okay, so we found an ignition switch fuse that we're going to use. It's actually one that controls the reversing light switch among a few other bits and bobs. And we're going to use F9 on this particular vehicle. Now, this particular vehicle is a 2016 model, but obviously yours will vary depending on year, build, month, spec, etc. Now, we're going to use the fuse spur that comes with it. And we pulled the fuse out, popped it in the end of the fuse spur here, so that's your original fuse from the fuse box, and that's the one that runs your camera. Bullet connector on the end, ready to plug into your cable that you've ran down. So quite literally, get your fuse spur, pop it in the hole it came out of, the original fuse, like so, and join the two up. Right, when you've got to this stage, I'm just going to point out, I should have said this beforehand really, don't pull any fuses out with the ignition switched on. Because if you accidentally trip a warning light, you're going to be going to the garage to get it switched off again and paying to have it done. So only pull the fuse when the ignition is off, the key is out, okay? Right, once you've got your feed in like so, quickly plug your camera in, dummy it up, yeah, and turn your ignition on to make sure the camera lights up. Yeah, so the camera's dead at the moment. Putting our key in, like so, and there we go. Now what you're looking for is a little charge symbol in the bottom left hand corner. Just turn it around. There we go. See the little charging symbol? We've got a little red line through the battery symbol on the bottom left hand corner. That, on this one, shows it's charging. So when we turn off again, there you go, off it goes. Now when you've got a fully charged battery on one of these cameras, obviously it's not going to go off straight away, so bear that in mind. This is a brand new one, so it's flat. Right, your next thing to do, obviously reattach your little trim panel that covers the fuse box. It slides up and under, clips in, using two plastic clips at the back, and then put your two Phillips screws back in. Very straightforward. If you're struggling with it, consult your owner's manual, because that shows you in detail how to take the thing off. Although, to be honest with you, it's not rocket science. Right, now you've got your cable dangling from the roof. Now you're going to need some way of securing it up above the headlining. If you just tuck it up above the headlining, it's liable to fall down. I mean, we have got some lovely British roads full of potholes, so all I do to make it a bit more, if you like, notchy to stop it falling down, is get yourself some standard issue cable ties, zip ties, zip them round it and tape over them, like so. Right, basically like so. This is only a personal thing that I do. You can decide to do it other ways, but wrap your cable tie round, snip the end off it, cover it with electrical tape just to cover up the sharp edge digging into your headlining, and then you can quite literally go ahead and tuck that up behind. Normally the headlinings are quite stiff, so you do have to pull them a bit to shove it up, but that will hold no problem. Your cable then is obviously going to feed down neatly with the suppressor on, which I'll show you. This is your suppressor. They normally clip together shut. Open it up and basically wrap it around the wire quite near the plug, yeah, so it encases the cable. This will stop interference, or help to stop interference on, well, more than anything, DAB radios, DAB. On normal radios it can help, but it's mainly for DAB at this point. I've not really seen interference on normal FM radio. DAB radios, though, very, very susceptible to interference. In some cases, even one of these isn't going to be enough. But this comes with the kit, so fit it on like so. There. We've just looped the cable. So we've opened it up and we've pushed the cable round, looped it over and dropped it back down again. So it's doubled up inside in essence, yeah? And that is it. That's all you've got to do with that. Like I say, now you can get all your cabling tucked nicely up. And there we go. You're going to have to pull your headlining quite firmly down to get it tucked up. But it's all tucked up now. Run down here and then into the unit. You want to sort of set the angle of your unit to line up so it catches both front corners of the bonnet. Sort of a triangle going out. That's the ideal position for one of these. Basically, again, make sure it goes off with the ignition. Start the car and make sure that you've got no warning lights appeared on your dashboard, such as airbag warning lights, etc. You know, if you haven't, that's it. You've done a fantastic job. Pat yourself on the back. I must point out on this that I'm held no way liable or responsible for any injury or damage from following this guide. If you're unsure, seek professional advice. Take it to a professional installer. Pay them to do the job. At the end of the day, if they break your car, they're insured. They'll repair your car. If you break your car, you've got your own bill. Same with injury, really. If you hurt yourself and you've had to go yourself, yeah. So if you feel like you're deaf, please take it to a professional. Thank you very much for watching this video, and bye for now.